Hello everybody, I'm Clayfus, and in this video I'm going to paint Pronoia. It's based on a picture of surgery. I'm doing this in Photoshop 2020. It's nothing special really, and I don't use any AI. I just make sure to use brushes and photo bashing techniques, which I seem to have mastered. It's a very interesting process really. First, I'm basically smudging out and flipping the canvas. I also mess with the color dynamics, like this one. Look, I've changed it to color dodge. Gonna add in a CD. Obviously this is some kind of cheating thing, but I'm using it to grab colors and forms. I don't care about the surgery picture. I don't really care about the CD picture. As you can see, I'm erasing it. Look, I'm getting rid of it. I just want to find unique colors from this. And when I've copied that and pasted it in, I just smudge around things until I create shapes, forms, and unique color patterns. If you're enjoying this video, by the way, subscribe to me because I'm trying to build up a following. I hardly have any subscribers at the minute, but as you can see, I've added a nebula, which is a very beautiful, colorful thing that I'm just going to use to grab the colors, nothing more. So now I've got that in, I flip it, change the color dynamics. You can see like kind of a head thing going on in there, and it's part of my creative process. It's not easy to make these things, it really isn't. My main technique really is to use the mixer brush and use the same photo again. So here I've got the surgery picture, I stick it on difference, and then I use the mixer brush, which is a very important tool, to remove all of the features of the lady, but keep the shape of her face, kind of, if that makes sense. So I've got rid of this thing at the bottom. I don't want the hand. I just want the sort of shape of her body, a bit. I don't need all of it. And at the side there, maybe there's some kind of utensil or tool that I'm trying to grab. Smudging the colors a little bit more and making sure to find rainbow patterns, psychedelic things. And like this, look, difference, expanded a bit, made some really unique forms, especially on color dodge. I really love difference and color dodge working together. They are the best things ever to do this. But as you can see, I've not really cared so much about any of the previous photos or anything that I've used before. Now I'm just doing a quick research for a jellyfish picture. This may be an AI jellyfish picture. Again, I don't care. I'm just going to stick it in and turn it to subtract this time. Subtract is also a unique way of getting beautiful colors. That's one of the things I do in all of my paintings. For this, the idea really is to try and make some kind of head shape. The head shape from the nurse that was in the surgery, or the surgeon, it's not good enough really, so now I've flattened it, copied it again. I'm going to warp it a little bit to try and find a unique head form. That's the idea really. It's a big mess. Part of the process while I'm doing these things is to make an absolute mess and then try and find beauty from that chaos. Now I've found this thing which is like plastic shapes, and it's basically going to be used for birefringence, which is a kind of rainbow effect. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. I'm zooming out a lot and you can't see it, but I do have the navigator enabled as well. Now this light thing on difference does look kind of cool. It looks like the eye for the alien, because I'm painting aliens here. Dark things, twisted universes, and basically things we've never seen. We've never seen an alien, have we? Have we? Let me know in the comments if we have seen an alien, because I don't think we have. But here we go. I want to change it to difference, flip it a bit. Sometimes it's too dark, sometimes I don't like it. It's worth checking and making sure. You see, now that looks like two eyes, doesn't it really? It's interesting. The eyes are a bit dark, and I'll just copy that bit out. Maybe that's some kind of mouthpiece. It's vastly different to the finished product, which I think looks rather cool. It's unique, and it still fits that sort of surgery theme, which was the base image. While I'm making these paintings, I'm also thinking deeply in a sort of meditative stance or style. I don't know what you'd say for that, but I'm definitely in some kind of meditation zone, listening to music like what you can hear in the background. I'm not part of the process, I'm just facilitating the feeling. Now I know that sounds a bit fruity, but I'm sort of there in the mood while I'm painting this, trying to find forms and shapes and nothing more. It's nothing more complex than that. Now I've got this sort of alien form in the corner, which I really like, but I'm feeling that the neck is a little bit too thick for what would be seen as a reticulan, a sort of alien from outer space living on the moon, I guess the dark side of the moon. So here, I'm trying to make the neck thinner by using the eraser tool. Nothing more, it's just cutting, pasting, flipping, and then color dodging, and then using the mixer brush. It's very important to do that. Here, look, I'm just getting rid of the neck area. I've got to get a really thin neck. Because for some reason, I don't know about you, but aliens always seem to have a super thin neck, don't they? And then a really bulbous head. Not always, but that's like the traditional, I don't know, image of an alien. But I'm trying to find that, and I've got another one here, look. That's the main guy now. So I'm going to erase all of the darkness and stuff around it and copy this form. I want to have a couple of these surgeons in this place. These alien surgeons. Don't know why, it's just a feeling, and it looks better and better each iteration of copying and pasting and removing. So now I'm using the mixer brush to smudge out some of the details in the background. I do sometimes use copyrighted images and then just smudge out the watermarks, because again, I don't care. I don't really care about the source images. That does not affect the final design. I'm just copying and pasting things. Now here, I use an effect called glowing edges. Now to access that, you go on the filter at the top, and then you want filter gallery. Once you've opened the filter gallery, you can basically select glowing edges under stylize, and it gives you this wonderful neon effect that you can make thicker, brighter, or stronger on a very colorful palette, which you can bring down with saturation, but I don't bother doing that. I just like the lines like this. So from that previous alien example that I've showed you, you can actually make the glowing edges, set it to something like pin light or difference or subtract. Then you can zoom in and remove away the different parts that you don't need, just using the eraser tool like that. That's on a previous alien painting that I did, and it looks a pretty cool effect. So here, look, I'm going to do it. I put the alien lines on. Can't really see them, but they are there, and it is a bit of a mess. They add so many interesting, unique little lines that you can't really see, and I love it. It's a brilliant effect. So now I'm going back to the process of copying the whole canvas, pasting it in, switching it to different color effects. I do like color dodge, I often use that one. I'm pasting it in so I can get the exact same alien 2 or maybe 3 times. 3 is a magic number when it comes to artwork for some reason. 3 always looks good, and you can't forget the focal points in the painting. The focal points are usually spaces where the crosses are. The bottom left and the top right, for example, would be good focus points or focal points. It's a very, very worthwhile thing to think about while you're doing that. For example, a giant jawmonger worm thing might be attacked by somebody with a sword in the other corner. That is the focal points of the painting, and it does totally make a difference. Now here I've added in a picture of another nebula, some kind of gas nebula that I'm going to use for colouring. I've stuck it on subtract. I love it. I love the colours I've got there. Look at that green and the purple. The green and the purple are always good together, aren't they? I mean, they're just completely alien and weird. Now I just use the eraser tool to bring out the form of the dude a little bit more. I'm trying to leave some sleeves on it so I can have some arms later, because these dudes need to be doing something. Now arms and feet and legs are incredibly difficult for me to paint for some reason. I'm actually very bad at painting people as such. Forms of the body are an incredibly difficult thing, and anatomy is horrendous. But this guy is a little bit sad. I like that. I don't know if it's sadness. His mouth muscles are relaxed, and for that I'm using the darkest black I could find, which is probably a bit of a faux pas in art. You probably shouldn't use just black and just solid colors like that, but you know, who's judging this except for me? Maybe you. I'm just basically putting in the mouth of the second dude, a little smaller, copied from the previous layer, just changing it up a bit. It's going to be the same mouth, isn't it? You've got the same anatomy there, slightly different chins. I like these eyes because they're like little crevices. Eyes are all over the face. I don't really know, because it's from that light from the surgery thing earlier. Smudging around the eye a little bit, making sure to pick out the main details of that eye. It's a little bit squinty, and then copy it. For this one, obviously it's too big. I've got the mouth. I don't want the mouth. So yeah, I've got to copy that whole thing, put it here. Maybe remove the mouth bit in a minute, and I want to resize that eye. It's not an eyebrow, that's the eye. Maybe I could add some shines to that later, but I don't think I bother. I think that looks good. It's like a dark pupil, a recess. Maybe on their planet they have evolved that eye to meet a certain requirement through time. It's always worth thinking that. Copying and pasting it, flipping it, maybe find the third dude. change it. I don't know, difference or color dodge. Look at that. That looks kind of interesting. A bigger neck. I didn't actually see that the first time. But yeah, that looks cool. Putting in these different bits. And again, I'm thinking deeply about this surgery, this sort of idea, the surgeon idea, because that was the base image and I want to go for that. Look, the third dude, he is there. He's clearly in the picture. I like that. I've got to change it back to normal, I guess, and then I can go around and erase it and keep the third dude, making sure that the form is exactly the same. I could move his head up a little bit, but I think they are all focusing on this one point in the middle. That's not the focal point of the picture, that's what they are focusing on. They're looking at something in the middle, which I'll get to in a little while. I guess it's the surgery, in quotes. I'm not really sure what that will be, but I'm just going to remove these bits here. Now I've got 3 dudes. That's cool. 3 actual alien dudes with no arms. So now, the painful process of putting in arms. Now again, nobody's seen alien hands and alien arms, so in that respect, I've got kind of a good chance of doing this, but arms and fingers are really difficult to do. The anatomy is of another world. It's pain. I know it's like a square with rectangles on it, isn't it, really? But it's not. It's way more complex than that, and anatomy is one of those things that fail me as an artist. Yes, I could study it more, I could go to some drawing classes and study it, but I'm not in the process of doing that right now. I'm in the process of making aliens that are absolutely unique, weird, twisted, and beautiful at the same time. I'm just trying to put these little fingers in. I don't know how many fingers they have. Cartoon images tend to have 3 or 4 fingers at the most. 5 fingers are very difficult to do, and if you watch a lot of cartoon or anime, you'll notice that most cartoons have 3 or 4 fingers, like in Simpsons. It's much, much easier to do than have 5 independently animated, difficult to look at fingers. So I'm very careful to not add too many fingers. They could have 20 fingers, who knows? I mean, on their planet, they might have more need for the fingers than just the 5 for gripping. You know what I mean? You probably heard the gripping sound there. I'm clapping my hand while I'm doing it. Here, I've just got to copy this arm, flip it, and warp it a little bit. I do love the warp tool. It's a bit too thin, but I need to have many of those arms in different places for all of the aliens. That looks okay. Lots of interesting colours in the background there. His arms are too big. I'm not happy doing the arms, but it's also worth doing. If you want a job done well, you've got to do it. And sadly, I've got to work very hard at making these fingers look a little bit more like fingers. It's difficult. It's difficult, and I do spend about 10 minutes messing with the arms and the fingers in order to get it right. Because that's the process, that's what I'm going for. Here, look, this finger has too much green from the other one because I just copied it, so I've got to remove all that stuff. But I do like that spindly finger that they have. They have long, spindly fingers, and actually, looking at this in editing mode, that long little finger looks kind of cool. I think I removed it eventually, but it does look pretty interesting, that long little finger. Moving in this blue with the smudge tool. It's not the smudge tool, sorry, it's the mixer brush. I love the mixer brush. It's one of the most powerful tools you could use ever. Now we stick in a plastic bag for a bit more birefringence, I guess. Trying to stick that in, get more extra colors. I stuck it on saturation, didn't look good. Maybe on color dodge, because you've got that little, I don't know, the white effect. It looks like gloves, almost. It's not like supposed to be gloves, it's supposed to be a little bit of weird stuff. Stick that up a little bit. I like those markings, those sort of lines on the wrist. It's interesting. It's not really a glove effect, but it does look kind of interesting. So I'll leave that in, copy those arms, make them bigger. Maybe I can warp them a little bit for this dude. They look like they're ready to scratch something to death, which is not the plan. I don't want to have a scratching situation going on. They're doing some kind of work in the middle, which I haven't got to yet, but I do at the end. It's like they're working on light. The idea is these are light surgeons. They are surgeries of light, whatever that means. That's crazy. I'm talking crazy. But yeah, this is part of it, being crazy when you're painting, enjoying the process like I was. Absolutely loved making this. When you're liking it, it doesn't matter the results. Nobody's really judging. I am selling this, but I'm not, a world stage artist trying to make millions of dollars. I am trying to do that, but I'm not that yet, am I? But I'm trying. So here, this arm is just horrendous, but I like that one on the right now. That's actually almost a perfect alien arm. It's got like 2 long fingers, the index fingers, That's really good, the one on the right. The arm section's not so good, but the fingers are really good. And it's basically just iterations of copying, flipping, pasting, warping, and then smudging it in with the mixer brush. The mixer brush is also way better than the smudge tool because it uses less memory and it does not cause Photoshop to freeze or crash. So mixer brush is a must when you're painting anything using a mixer brush. Don't use smudge, it's rubbish, it's not great at all. Smudge I would recommend for very, very, very tiny, minute details, not smudging across the whole canvas. That will just take ages to do. For some reason, I don't know why, but it just takes a lot of memory up. And it even on a powerful computer, it just takes ages to smudge across this whole entire painting. But the mixer brush, you can smudge across it, done, instant. This guy's grabbing over here. He looks like he's about to grab a beer, doesn't it? He looks like he's about to grab a beer. Now, I removed the fingers there for the particular reason of holding something. The idea is they're going to be holding some kind of utensil to perform their surgery in the middle. And I don't know about you, but I'm really starting to see this alien painting as something rather cool. Again, I put the nebula in, stick the color forms in. This one is going to be their utensil. It's going to be set to something like darken or multiply, so I can really get this large scalpel. It's almost like a stave, a mini stave of a scalpel or a pen. It's a bit like my Wacom Bamboo, because I don't have a very good one. I have a little Wacom 1 tablet. It's a bit like the stylus in that, isn't it, really? It's nice and sharp on both ends, because sometimes they need the sharpness and less sharp on the other side, I guess. It's kind of silly. And that's the pen. That's basically the idea of the pen. Now, I've made his hand a little stub, because the idea is he's holding this, and his fingers sort of overlap it. Yeah, that's kind of cool. It's a bit weird. It's a bit chicken leg, but that's cool. Yeah, just trying to put these little bits in. Move the pen up a bit. There we go. Look, he's kind of grabbed it in two claw-like fingers. That's nice. It's not bad, actually. I quite like that. So once I've done that, I'm maybe going to overlap a few more fingers and grab the arms, because I do like some of the other arms. That one on the right is perfect. Maybe he's got 3 arms. I mean, why not? Nope, I want to grab some of the fingers. Doesn't that look cool, though? These aqua fingers? I'm very impressed with that. It's interesting. I like some of the bone work as well. It almost looks like they've got bones. That's cool. He's kind of grabbing a little bit. The negative space is very, very difficult to do when you're photo bashing like me. There's not really any negative space because it's all full of colours, just so many colours. That looks a bit too much like tentacles, but, you know, maybe their hands change when they're in surgery mode, which is pretty interesting. That looks good, though, from a distance. It does look interesting. I'm just trying to smudge away the chin, because I feel they should have rounder heads. A rounder head is always good for a reticulan or some kind of bulbous-headed creature. Put this one in, and I can just use the mixer brush and the eraser tool. For that, I actually use the clone pattern stamp, which you can use to copy bits, and then use the warp tool to basically make the face a little bit rounder. I like it with that sort of weird chunk thing in the corner, but I also want them to have a rounder jaw, because I feel they would. They would have that sort of rounder jaw. Find the exact same surgery picture. Maybe there's some kind of apparatus at the background there, or apparatus as we say in the UK. I should say that, not apparatus. This thing is like a rectangle tablet on the wall, and I like it, so I'm going to put it in different places. It's on difference at the minute, but I might change it to color dodge. Good old color dodge. It's one of my favorite layer styles, I guess. Put that here. Erase all of the bits like that. Got plenty of colors on that. I like that, like a white terminal. Almost like a language. It looks like the Twitch logo, actually, doesn't it? Kind of funny. Copy that one a couple of times, resize it. Again, 3. Have 3. Always 3. 3 is a good number for some reason. Merge those. Copy it. Put it in. Ooh, I like that. It's got some kind of weird bag thing. I like it. Put that one in here. The weird bag thing on the left there, and then another one in the middle. Almost looks a little bit like a language in the background. Remove that. Put those there. That's cool. Like lighting or terminals or something. And now I've got to think about the front of the painting. I like the pen. Give me the pen. I want the pen many times. So copy that. I've got the whole arm. That's fine. Whatever. I'll copy the whole arm. Twist it, rotate it, put it into place where he's going to be holding this little knife thing. It's like a, I don't know, a knife, stave, wand type thing that they're cutting open something in the bottom there. I could add more details like they're doing some kind of vet surgery on a pet or something, but I don't want to have too many creatures because then it becomes difficult to manage, doesn't it? Here, I'm just identifying the exact layers for the pen. and then trying to figure out his hand. His hand looks like it's the wrong way round now. You know, the dude on the right, it looks like he's holding it in a very peculiar and odd angle, which is wrong. It's got to be better than that, so I've got to flip it, I guess. Flipping it probably would help. There we go, that's a bit better. Yeah, there we go, flip the hand. That's a rather nice hand now. A good grasping hand. Flip the whole thing, you see? Just like this. Maybe just flip the hand. Put it here. That's cool. He's holding like a chopstick. Just one single purple-black chopstick. And then put it into a position where he's doing the work. I don't know where that would be, because I don't want to point it too much at the other dude, but that looks good. That looks pretty accurate. Now I've got to identify the elements of the hand that I want to erase, because it's a bit like he's holding it too far away, I guess. So here I've got to grab the eraser tool, and also I want to find the colors, that's right, and then use the eraser tool to clean up the areas around it, and then try and warp his fingers a little bit, because it's a mess. So like that, look, I'm just going to put it all in, cut it, and then change it to warp, I believe. Yeah, there we go, I'm warping it a little bit. I'm warping the pen, which is wrong, but never mind. Warping the fingers to sort of grasp around it, you can see, and then just remove those little weird hairy bits. Now he's grabbed it, and he's grabbing it in his fist, which doesn't look particularly surgery-like, does it, using fists? But I guess that's how you would do it. You probably have one finger overlaying the pen, sort of, but that looks cool. He's ready to cut. He's going to do an incision to something at the bottom there that I haven't done yet. Now I just need to copy that entire thing again for the third dude, and obviously make it much smaller. So I've done that. I'm going to put it here. Now I've got to identify the fingers layers, which is very difficult to do because there's many layers now. I do like to merge the paintings though, so it's not too much of an issue. And then I've got to remove that sort of weird brown thing at the top of his hand. There we go, I've got it. And the bit green there that I don't like. Cool, that's not bad, that's not bad. He's grasping the pen thing, and he's ready to do some kind of work. Maybe I'll rotate that as well. Rotate the pen thing. Yeah, just like this. And he's ready to operate on something in the middle. Maybe he's going to operate on a pizza, which is something I would love to eat right now. But sadly, I'm fasting. I'm on a diet because I'm obese. Well, I'm not really, but, you know, I want to lose a bit of weight. What am I talking about? This painting. More arms is what we require, I think. I thought about it. I thought maybe there could be more arms on these dudes because, you know, humanoid-type figures always have 2 arms. Why not have 10? Why not have 20 arms? Well, you know, it's getting crazy. We're not centipedes. But that's cool. Put that one in. Change the forms a bit. Maybe not too many arms. Nah, it's a bit of a mess. But that arm there looks cool. A little bit long. Fingers everywhere. I do like it. I actually prefer the standard one, so that will do. It's pretty good. Yeah, when I'm painting these things, getting to the stage of that'll do is actually very important. You could build the forms up for about 20 minutes. Anything after 20 minutes, it turns to the stage of just perfecting it. And then the perfecting is what you think is done. You can't keep going. I mean, you could. I could do 1,000,000 hours on this and perfect it to the 1,000,000 hour point, but that's 1,000,000 hours gone on one painting, isn't it? So now I've merged all the layers, and now I want to add something in the middle that they are kind of operating on. So for that, I'm using a simple gradient, doing a couple of those, moving it down a bit. They're operating on light. That's the idea. I said that before. That looked kind of cool on difference, but I want it to be something a bit more interesting. So color dodge is always good. Again, my friend color dodge. Stick it on difference, multiply. They're not operating on a black box. They're operating on light itself. So here, that looks cool. That looks good, like a misty bit at the bottom. That's good. Put it underneath the pens and the arms. So now they're operating on something that we don't see. That's also an element you should bring into your paintings. The element of mystery. What exactly are they operating on? Again, the idea is they're operating on light. You cannot see that. Well, I mean, you can see everything in light, right? I guess. But they're trying to operate on light. But the element of mystery is that you cannot see the light thing that they're operating on. Maybe it's a creature that's wounded underneath. These guys are vets. I've selected the pen, and I've just got to try and identify the bits underneath the hand, because I want it to show up above the light, but not above the hand. There we go. That looks about right, doesn't it? That looks like I've identified the pen. This painting is coming to the end now, and I'm extremely happy with this. It's called Pronoia, and it is available for sale on Ko-fi if you want to support me there. I've recently set it up. I've put my paintings up as JPEGs. Yeah, they're not NFTs. I don't really want to get into that. It was weird. I was there for a while. I tried. I didn't make any money on it, but I tried. So they're not NFTs. They're just JPEGs at the minute. Maybe high quality prints in the future, should my channel suddenly explode into decentness, I guess. But if not, it doesn't matter. Support me on Ko-fi, please, by buying this painting. It's like, what, $20 or something? It's just a JPEG. I mean, you could just right click and save it if you want to, but that's not very nice, is it? Support me. Thank you. Also, subscribe to my channel if you've enjoyed my ranting and going on about alien hands and bombs, because this is something I like to do. These little bits of white light look cool. I've added those to sort of represent an extra layer to the pens that they're using. They're not just pens, they're light pens, sticking into the light at the bottom. I've just got to remove the light bits over the faces, you see? And now they've got these like stylus type knife things that are cutting away at the light and the mystery underneath. This bit here is a mess. So I kind of want to smudge that a little bit, get rid of the finger elements, the finger hairs from the warping, because that's always a bit of a shame having those weird bits. But that hand is a very good alien hand. I think so, at least. It looks really good. There's sort of like weird elements to it. It's aqua. It's a very interesting thing. I'm just trying to remove some of the bits between the fingers, but I like those hands. That's a good hand. I've done a good alien hand there, which is very difficult to do. So yeah, kudos to me for doing a hand. I like those, I guess we call them lumps on the knuckles as well. It's quite interesting because as we get older, we get different forms and shapes appearing in our body, don't we? So that's what we're doing here. I'm adding these little weird things. This aged alien, the bigger one, I guess he's at the front, the foreground bigger dude. Yeah, they've all got like weird, interesting elements to it. And that's Pronoia. So now all that's left to do really is change the colors a little bit. I want to desaturate it. So I want to select that on saturation mode, bring it down a little bit, and then erase it so we can still see the full color of the aliens' heads and their body, but not the background. Again, I want to have more negative space. I've failed on that regard, I'm sorry, but that's the way I do things, I guess. But now it's done, all that's left to do is sign it. So I've got my little signature, I'm just going to go find it in a second, just get rid of a bit more things. Find it, grab the signature, stick it in the corner here. Let's grab it, put it in the corner. I think I prefer it white, and it's done. That is Pronoia by Clayfus. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. And Clayfus, it's been fun to do this, it really has. And I'll see you next time.